So if we're looking at problem 12, it's asking us find the angle's reference angle, and we're given 15 pi over 4. The reason I'm choosing to go over this one is that this provides like every complication you might have. First, it's in radians, not degrees. Second of all, it's not between 0 and 2 pi. So this is actually greater than a full revolution. I'm going to try to do this the most visual way you can. You can do this algebraically. So I'm just going to graph 15 pi over 4. I'm going to sketch it. So keep in mind that pi over 4 is the same as 45 degrees. This is 90 degrees. So I've got pi over 4, another pi over 4 with 90 degrees, another pi over 4, another pi over 4, and another pi over 4. So what I'm saying here is if I'm drawing this angle, I've got 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that is 15 pi over 4s because I counted out 15 of these pi over 4s. So I know that my reference angle is going to be between the terminal side here and the x-axis here, which is just going to be pi over 4. And I'm done. So you can do all this without drawing this out and figuring it out graphically, as I'm going to take my 15 pi over 4 and find the coterminal angle by subtracting 2 pi. But to subtract 2 pi, I know that I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply 2 pi by 4 over 4 to create a common denominator. And I have 15 pi over 4 minus 8 pi over 4, because 2 times 4 is 8. And that leaves me with 7 pi over 4. In other words, I know that 15 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4 are coterminal angles. I also know that 8 pi over 4 is equivalent to 2 pi. And the difference between 8 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4 is just 1 pi over 4. So like I showed on that other page, I know that this is a full 2 pi revolutions, or 8 pi over 4. I know this right here is 7 pi over 4. So what I'm asking myself is, how many more pi over 4s do I need to go to get from here to here? Or what's the angle difference between this terminal side and the positive x-axis, which is just 2 pi minus 7 pi over 4. But 2 pi is 8 pi over 4, and I still get pi over 4 as my reference angle.